The following stream contains mature content and subject matter. Viewer discretion is advised.
Hey everybody, welcome to Delta Green. I have the keys to the kingdom. I am Brad, Timber Brad on the Discord, and I'll be the handler for this game of Delta Green, and I will let my players introduce themselves.
Hello, everybody. I'm Urian, and on Discord and most everywhere else, and I'll be playing Luther Doyle tonight.
Hi, I'm Mischievous Dread, and I'll be playing Carolyn Carter.
Hi everyone, I'm Kai, and I'll be playing Carlos Saturn Gutierrez.
So, one of the things that I love about Delta Green as a system are home scenes, which is where we're going to start. Who wants to go first? Urian it is. All right.
All right.
So introduce everybody to a life in the day of Luther.
Luther is in protective services at his local NASA center. His day in supervisory activities usually include, asking his subordinates to verify the daily incoming badge scans, making sure that there's no one come in that has expired, or making a note of those who are coming close to the end of their badge expirations and having their pictures ready for the next day. Just taking care of day-to-day little security things, going around the center, checking any kind of problems that people have had.
So what happened that got you on Delta Green's radar?
Well, working where I do, you see a lot of interesting things. People who think they know and try to get in, and they're telling you all these ridiculously weird stories about aliens, and they're trying to break into the center to get to the spaceship. Some of them seemed more realistic than others. So I guess I must have asked too many questions of the wrong people. Like, is that real? And they're like, don't concern yourself.
So you're at work and you get a call from your supervisor, asks you to meet him in his office.
Okay. Yes, sir.
Oh, I don't know what's going on, Luther, but have a seat. Have a seat.
Thank you, sir.
This is, middle management, government employee guys, the guy who's been there, probably 20 years career at this point. I don't know what's going on, but I was kindly told that you would have, or that you have been assigned to a project in New York.
What kind of project?
A project above my pay grade.
Right, enough said. What are the requirements?
Requirements above my pay grade.
All right.
All I was told was to make you available.
No detail to report to? No other information? Or
So he'll hand you a business card that has a name on it. It says Agent Phillips, and an office phone number. He said to have you get in contact with him, and
Okay.
he will have all of the necessary travel arrangements and whatnot. But it sounds like it's a leave now and ask questions later.
Right on the card, there's no agency specified. It's just a name and a telephone number.
So it says FBI.
Okay.
But no like special field office or anything. Just it's given your experience, it's a very nondescript card.
Mm-hmm.
Like it definitely seems like there's probably information that's missing, but considering your background and what your supervisor's been told of the situation, it's
right. Does the phone number look even remotely familiar, like some agency I know about, or like the right state, or where it might be?
I mean, it's a government contract, so I mean it's definitely a local phone number.
Okay.
For like New York,
Okay.
like a quick search would tell you, it's a New York number, but I mean it's government, so literally you could be in New York and have a California number. So
Right.
nothing other than just the lack of information on the card would throw off that it's suspect or anything. And even the card doesn't necessarily seem suspect. It's just, given your background, you're probably aware that this is probably not even this guy's real name. But he's trying to leave a way for you to contact him.
All right. You've already specified that this is a ASAP situation, right?
Oh,
I mean,
yes. Yeah, I was told to make you immediately available.
All right, I will pass my responsibilities on to my subordinates and get on it.
Okay. And then you make a phone call, and a youngish man answers the phone. Doesn't sound like a middle-aged man, an adult voice. Hi, this is Agent Phillips.
Oh, this is Luther Doyle reporting in as requested.
Perfect. I have a flight booked under your name. It'll arrive in New York City. How quickly can you have a bag packed?
I always have a bag packed.
Perfect. Grab your bag and head to the airport. And you'll be flying to JFK International.
To JFK?
No, flying. Yeah, you'll be flying to JFK.
Okay.
That's New York City, right? Yeah,
Mhm.
that's what I'm saying. Yeah. So you'll be flying there. There's already a ticket booked. And then when
Is
you but
is this purely a domestic operation, or need I bring other documents?
bring them just in case, but they probably bring them just in case. When you get to the airport, go to there'll be a short-term storage locker.
Mhm.
He'll give you the details for it. Go there. He tells you basically how to get into the locker. There'll be a package for you there. It'll give you more details.
Is this pre or post TSA?
So this is current day, so post TSA. But you've got, government credentials and whatnot, so you can fly with, your arm or sidearm. Yeah.
Understood, sir.
All right. So we will move on then to Red.
Awesome.
What's going on in the life of Carolyn Carter?
So, Dr. Carter is the head astrobiologist at the SETI Institute. She typically spends her days looking at the massive amounts of data coming back in from the various machines and instruments they have working at any given time, all aimed at determining if there's extraterrestrial life, for those of you who don't know what SETI is. She is a very dedicated worker and very happy to discover the potential of extraterrestrials. It's her life's mission. Yeah.
So what happened that got Carolyn on the radar? What did she experience?
Yeah. So one night she caught something on the metrics that came back that very strongly indicated life. However, it quickly disappeared. The data alongside it was corrupted, but she told supervisors and told her coworkers, obviously, but no one could prove it.
So while you've been working, you have actually noticed a probably regular series of blips. Combing through the data, there's been a lot of activity in the New York area. And you get permission's not the right word, because I feel like Carolyn probably kind of is the one that gives herself permission in these sorts of situations.
The support of her team.
Yes, Carolyn gets the support of her team to make it. They've hit your radar. You're definitely aware that there's been a string over the last year or so of regular occurrences, which has definitely piqued your interest. When you get a strange email, it is from what appears to be a government email. And it states that your expertise is requested for a project in New York City.
She almost immediately emails back, is very excited, and she agrees, but asks for any additional details so she knows what she needs to bring.
Given so they respond back that given the unsecured nature of the communication, details are being withheld, but it is almost assuredly something that would be worth the trip for you.
Okay. She's a little like, she's even more interested because she knows that this is typically the behavior when there is actual like extraterrestrial, like UFOs or anything in government, that how they would act.
Yeah, the writer of the email identifies himself as Agent Phillips, and says that it's they'll give you more information when you meet in person, but they're just, given the lack of security, they can't provide anything more substantial. So yeah, and then as far as anything to bring, resources can be made available. However, whatever you use to complete your work that can be made easily mobile would be recommended. And then if you agree, flight will be booked. And then when you get there, same idea as what Agent Doyle was told, is that there's a locker, like a short-term storage locker, that'll have more information once you land at the airport.
Okay. Yeah, she agrees to go. The only thing that she's probably going to end up bringing is her laptop, but through logging in through a VPN, she can access most of the lab equipment to scan a variety of things, but it's not really transportable.
So like a mobile version or more mobile access to a less mobile home base.
Yeah, so she'll just bring her laptop.
Yeah, cool. And then Saturn.
Well, a day in Carlos Gutierrez's life is usually pretty boring. He just does computer science stuff for pay. In the third or sixth business that he was employed this year, he lost count because he doesn't really care about them. Because at night, he is Saturn. He is one of many hackers that employ their abilities to solve various internet puzzles, encrypted data, and why not try and crack some private organization's database because they're being very, very naughty and they deserve the lesson. The judgment on that, however, is a little gray. But that were the good times. Saturn at this moment, Carlos at this moment, is living with his aunt. Because he found things that he shouldn't have. See, he hacked into what appeared to be a completely unrelated business database with weirdly high encryption, something that he never experienced before. No one around the internet could hold a candle to this level of encryption. But he put his mind into it, and eventually he cracked it. Surprise it being that it was a government database hidden. And the data there is all too confusing, but undeniably big. And he's at the moment trying to crack as much as he can because he knows that eventually FBI will knock in the door. And so he doesn't have a lot of time.
And probably about 5-10 minutes after he has that thought, there's a loud pounding on the door.
Of course, he does a little jump off that. He closes the laptop. He takes everything off, all cables out of the computers. He doesn't have time to burn all the evidence down, so he will try to make a run for it. And he honestly doesn't hope that he will succeed. He doesn't think he'll run far, but it's better than nothing, I guess. So he tries to run away, and I imagine he's caught.
As soon as you open the door to make your way out, you are greeted by a few very angry-looking men in all black, and a bag is thrown over your head. And you get basically kidnapped. Some amount of time passes, and you know, at some point you kind of pass out. Not exactly sure if it's an exhaustion thing or if it's a like you were given something or choked out. But you come to in a cell. And it's, as far as cells go, not awful. Like you're by yourself, it is you've got all of the comforts that you could hope for in a solitary confinement cell. But there's no windows. There's a bed, toilet, and you're actually not sure how long you've been there for. Meals are delivered what seems to be semi-regularly, but no way for you to tell if they're, delivering, something once an hour to throw off your sense of time, or if it's, every 8 hours or whatever. But they're not starving you. You've got all of the comforts you could hope for while in prison, but not your laptop, which you do remember you had when they grabbed you.
Yeah. I imagine none of the guards want to have a little chat about anything.
Oh, no one talks to you. Like when I mean solitary, I mean you are in a room entirely by yourself.
Mm-hmm.
The closest interaction you get is occasionally seeing a hand push the tray in, and then the little door immediately closes.
Okay.
You can't even tell when the little tray door opens if it's daytime, nighttime, like
Mm-hmm.
nothing. Like
Yeah.
this is a place designed to completely throw off your sense of time. Uh,
Yeah. Nothing much to do here except wait.
so while you are
And
waiting, a for Agent Doyle and Dr. Carter, you both end up arriving at the airport. Um, you go to your respective uh, storage lockers and find in yours, Red, you find a badge with your face, your name, says special agent, and a address. The address is 33 Thomas Street, and there's a time.
How far off is the time?
Uh, I mean, far enough to where like you can maybe get like a bite to eat if you're particularly hungry, but it's pretty much enough time to get your luggage or whatever and head there. Gives you a little bit of time so you can be early, but not a lot of spare time.
Yeah, so she's gonna put the badge in her back pocket or like clip it to her pants if there's a clip, but
Okay.
otherwise put it in her back pocket. Uh, and is going to immediately go to like the lanes outside the airport
Mhm.
and is gonna call a taxi because she's not young enough for Uber.
Okay.
She's gonna call a taxi.
Uh, Agent Doyle, you go into your locker. Very similar package. 33 Thomas. Um, a badge, same thing, your name. Um, and your photo, same address, same time, same idea.
Okay. Are Dr. Carter's and my locker anywhere in this vicinity that I would notice someone else pulling out a similar package?
Um, not yet. I mean, these kinds of lockers, there's always sorts of like drop
Okay.
offs, pickups, and stuff.
Right.
So nothing that would necessarily um, jump out to you that there's another person here. Given your history, it's probably not unheard of for you to be suspicious, but you don't see anything.
Okay. Um, I will try to get there immediately because, 15 minutes early is 15 minutes late.
Yeah. So, um, as probably about 5 minutes or so after Dr. Carter calls the taxi, a black SUV pulls up and a person in a suit steps out, goes around to the passenger door, and goes, Dr. Carter?
Oh, Caroline Carter?
Dr. Carter, yeah. I'm here to pick you up.
Oh, okay. And she's like, do you have like any
Oh, he'll show you
credential?
he'll show a badge.
Okay.
It's Agent Thomas. Um, I was just told to come here, pick you up. I'm waiting for another gentleman. And you see him kind of like look around, like he's obviously looking for the other person he's been here to send here to pick up,
Okay.
and take you guys. And at about that point, Agent Doyle, you come out and you see Dr. Carter standing at the door of this, or you see a woman who happens to be Dr. Carter standing at this SUV, and you see the man in a suit kind of like look over her shoulder, kind of meet eyes. You go, oh, Agent Doyle?
Yes.
Agent Thomas, I'm here to pick you up and
I look him up and down to assess him.
he looks like a low on the totem pole FBI agent.
All right.
Like he looks like in a suit and tie. I mean, it's
okay.
Nothing about this him stands out as like suspicious to you. He was just sent here to pick you up.
Okay.
Now that we've got both of you, and then if you guys want to get in, front seat, back seat, I don't care.
Carolyn's going to take a quick picture of the license plate and send the text to her husband just to keep him updated. And she's going to get in the back seat. Not even glance at Luther.
Okay. Nope, that's fair. All right, so you guys get in. And it's actually a good thing that you didn't call or that the taxi didn't come to get you, because it's like an hour or so to get from this airport to like where you're going. If you guys want to talk or anything, otherwise we're gonna fast forward a little bit.
Did I hear him reference you as Dr. Carter?
Yes, and you're Agent Doyle?
Yes, I'm Luther Doyle, and I shake hands. Put my hand out.
She shakes hers back, yeah.
I have no idea why I'm here. Do you?
No, I mean, she like looks you up and down. You don't really look like a scientist. No offense.
No offense taken. I'm not. My duty is to take care of the protected.
Interesting that they have us both with this, whatever this is.
Right. No, we haven't been given direction to put on our credentials just yet. But
well, if I don't have it, like, and I'm gonna lose it. So. All
right. Well, I'm not putting mine on yet, but I'll show her mine.
I mean, he seemed to recognize you, so I wasn't gonna question Agent Thomas.
Oh, so this is the vehicle is like it's not like one of those things where there's like a partition between you and him. So he literally goes, "Oh, no, they showed me your pictures. That's how I knew who you guys were."
So Agent Thomas taking us to Thomas Street.
Yeah, it's you ever been to the Long Lines?
I have not.
Are either of you familiar with what the Long Lines is?
No.
Okay. So it's this very famous, I think the style of architecture is called brutalism. I think it's a brutalist building, but it's literally it's known for being this NSA like black site in the middle of like New York City.
Like a concrete cube just stuck out in the middle.
Basically, I just Googled a picture. It looks like a prison, but taller.
Yeah, it is. But yeah, it is known for being like an NSA, like secret, like intelligence site, smack dab in the middle of New York City. Yeah, I was just told to come and pick you guys up, drop you off.
What organization do you work for? Can you tell us?
I work for the FBI. He'll pass his badge back to you, show you, so you can both see. Um,
Do our badges have an organization on them?
so they say NSA on them. Given what I imagine with Agent Doyle's background, he's at least familiar with like the whisperings of what the Long Lines building is. So knowing that
Yeah.
it's an NSA building, and then with NSA on your things, it's reasonable to assume that these badges are meant more than anything to get you into the building.
So a PIV badge or CAC card?
Yeah.
Okay.
It's interesting that you're with the FBI and you're taking us with something to do with the NSA. I get that you work together, but it's interesting.
I just do what I'm told, ma'am.
Who told you?
Agent Phillips.
I recognize that name.
All I know is that I was just told to come pick you two up, drop you off.
No one seems to really know anything.
Oh, I mean, I imagine if you guys both know who this Agent Phillips is, and he probably knows.
I think most of this is going to work on a need to know basis. And as far as they're concerned, we don't need to know anything just yet.
Government secrecy, that's the problem.
It has its reason. It has its purpose.
Sometimes it's too much, though.
Oh.
We clearly need to have some indicator of what we're doing. How are we going to prepare?
I'm sure Agent Doyle can tell you. I mean,
I have no idea what this mission is.
but usually when they give us missions, there's some amount of prep time sort of built in.
Well, I'll just have to trust you all.
And I look at Agent Carter. Yes, Agent Carter. Have you ever been on a mission like
No.
anything like this before?
No, I don't even work for the government.
It so far is pretty much standard procedure. Nothing out of the ordinary yet.
Okay.
Well, let's go.
And so, some time passes, and you pull up to this building, and it is called the Long Lines because it is a tall building, long lines, and no windows. It is a secure facility. And Agent Thomas pulls up, opens the door, lets you both out, drives off. There's a, right in front of you is a door, badge access. And as soon as you come in, there's a security desk, a security guard. Can I help you too?
I'm Agent Luther Doyle, reporting for duty, as requested.
Who sent for you?
I believe we're looking for Agent Phillips. And I'll produce his card that he had.
He'll look at it, and then oh, okay, and then just give me a minute, have a seat. And he picks up the phone. So, yeah, I've got two people here for you, Doyle and. Can I see your ID, ma'am?
Oh, yes.
And
she hands it to him.
Agent Carter. Okay. He'll be right down. And then, yeah, a few minutes later, very nondescript, um, young middle age, probably like 30s, white guy, very short cropped hair. Looks like, again, another like cookie cutter agent. Comes down and uh, holds his hand out first to Dr. Carter, and then to Doyle. Hi, I'm Agent Phillips. Sorry, I know there's uh, a lot of speed and mystery. Follow me. We'll go up to the briefing room.
Speaking of mystery, does his voice match who I talked to on the phone?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. And while he is in the elevator, you can see him every now and then kind of like passing looks towards the like security cameras. And then, just kind of like watching the elevator, indicator make to the floor, get off, and walks you to this basically is like a conference room. Almost looks like an interrogation room, but there's no windows, no cameras, nothing. It is a bare, clean, like stark white room. If you two want to have a seat, we've got one more person. And then we will get to why I brought you all here. And he kind of like steps out for a couple of moments, probably to make a phone call or something, and steps back in, and probably about a minute or two later, you see two very large, muscly. Best way I can describe them is like military grunts.
MPs?
Yeah.
Okay.
And each of them have basically hooked their arm around one of Saturn's arms, who is brought in with a black bag over his head.
Carolyn gives a quick look at like Doyle. Is like, is this expect like normal protocol?
Depends on who he is.
And the two guys basically pull the hood off, release his arms. You're not handcuffed, by the way. They're just kind of like using your arm to direct you. And they close the door behind them. So it's the three of you and Agent Phillips. My apologies, Mr. Gutierrez. It's considering how we found you, we had to take some precautions.
I no offense taken, I guess. He looks at the three people in the room. Okay, is this now supposed to be my interrogation or something? Who's the bad cop?
Consider this, it's more of your new job orientation.
Oh, we're taking that route, okay. All right. He sits nonchalantly. Hello, everyone. I didn't catch your names.
We didn't say.
Oh my! I introduce myself to the others. I'm Agent Phillips, and you folks are.
I'm Dr. Carolyn Carter. Oh, sorry.
That's just saying ladies first. I am Luther Doyle.
I am Carlos Gutierrez. Perhaps I don't know. Y'all know me as Saturn or something.
Never
I,
heard of you.
I have not heard of you.
I imagine, Mr. Gutierrez, if you're any good at your job, most people have no idea who you are.
I am not dealing with most people now, am I?
That's a fair point. So, what can you folks tell me about aliens?
Carolyn like perks up. What do you want to know?
They seem to have a lot of kooky fans, always asking questions.
Excuse
Oh,
me?
I assume this is some reference I'm not aware of.
But
Aliens, kooky fans.
my line of work is protecting data and instrumentation from those who might have bad intentions.
Okay. Well, I've brought you here. Were you going to say something, Mr. Gutierrez?
I am half in the mind of apologizing to Mr. Doyle.
Oh, yes, he probably is one of those
Uh, s- s-
miscreants.
yeah, I do happen to have some experience on that. To be perfectly honest, not intentional, but I do have it. In regards to aliens, Agent Phillips,
He'll pull uh take a like a what is the word? Like a little leather satchel, open it up and pull out a series of files. And you'll notice on each of the folders, there's the top secret, all these different designations, but each of them has stamped on it a green triangle. There has been a series of incidents once a month, about for the last year or so. There have been sightings.
Sightings too.
Like numerous. And he'll sort of, push the folders over to you when you open them. There's like clippings from newspaper articles, tabloids, like whatever this is. There's no effort to. There seems to be no effort made to actually hide. It just almost like clockwork, like once a month, a bunch of a bunch of people see what they think is some sort of UFO or UAP, um, and it's just this file is filled with photos.
You know, it's beyond just sightings, right? There's data that shows anomalies in various atmospheric conditions, all of it that points to it too. It's not just sightings.
You are more accurate than you know, Mr. Carter. Dr. Carter, my apologies. It seems like there is a cycle. Each cycle over the last year, there is a sighting, someone goes missing, and then the ones who are found maybe a day or two later. There are a few that we haven't located yet.
Are these, for lack of a better word, abductions and then returns, are they overlapping, or are they someone's taken, then brought back, then the next instance someone else is taken and come back, or
So
do they alternate?
our best guess is that they are around the new moon, and it seems to be approximately 2 days before the new moon is when the sighting happens. And then the day before the new moon, someone is abducted.
You said they're found. Are they found alive?
Sometimes.
Huh.
Sometimes completely healthy, sometimes not so much. One time, and he'll point, he'll open up the file, kind of like looking through them, and he'll point to the one. This is the most recent one that we know of. You see, it's a person named Nicholas Johnson, and he was found deceased. Up to this point, everyone that we had found had been either perfectly fine or alive for a time and then dead. He was just found dead, but also missing his heart.
Vital equipment.
Oh.
Do you know, like, was it like surgical? Was it pulled?
No, as far as we can tell, nothing.
It's just
No,
gone. I'm
just
not
gone.
sure I believe you.
You don't have to believe me. And he points to the
Autopsy
coroner's
report.
report.
So looking at it, I look at it to see, is there just incision? Does it look like it was just melted?
As far as you can tell, there's no the coroner notes there's no damage to the body. It looks like no incisions, no wounds. The person looked to be completely normal, other than the fact that they're a seemingly healthy person with no medical history,
They
missing
did
their heart.
an internal examination. I mean, were the attachments to the aorta and other vessels? I mean, was it simply sliced, or does it seem
It
some
looked
other?
as if it would have been surgically removed, apart from the fact that there was no place for it to have been removed from.
Carolyn's gonna take a deep look at the file and see if she can get anything else. Yeah.
Yeah, and he points, like he lays all of the files out, and indicates to you that there are 3 of which are currently missing, that they have no idea. Like they haven't been found. There are 5 of them seem completely healthy. But noted some like memory issues during the examinations afterward. You know, they went missing, they lost some time, so they got, medical screenings. Nothing that ever came back from the hospital report saying that there was anything wrong. It was just some period of
Did they
lapsed
remain?
memory.
Did they remain in good condition for some time after? I mean, something might have been removed that was somewhat less important than a heart.
Strangely enough, yes. There are 3 of them, and Agent Phillips will kind of like look through them. There's a Julia Turner who went missing in May. She was healthy, or seemed healthy when she was found, and when they did the exam, found that she was missing both of her kidneys.
Hmm.
And then shortly died after. There was a gentleman in August named William Lance who was missing his pancreas. Same exact story. Like the stories are almost like cut and paste with each other. They went missing. They were found seemingly healthy, missing organs, no evidence of any kind of incision, organs missing.
Have the same organs ever been taken twice?
No, not
Okay.
from what we've seen yet.
I do have a question, Agent Phillips.
Mhm.
Did these abductions, for lack of a better word, like Mr. Agent Doyle said, did these abductions start with the people returning with absolutely no problem, and then only just recently they started apparently returning with the organs with their insides missing, or
So
is it mixed up?
that it's a difficult question to answer because the first 4 that we suspect to be involved, 3 of them, the first, the third, and the fourth, totally fine except memory issues. No missing organs, no signs of incisions or anything. Just that's not entirely true. And then he flips through like medical records. They were all anemic.
Anemic.
Yes.
Okay.
Did brain scans show anything?
Yeah, I was going to ask that too. I mean, the ones that lost memory, were they missing pieces of the brain?
No, brains were entirely intact. No evidence of any sort of blood loss or damage. No, conductivity abnormalities on MRIs. As far as we can tell, it's just they lost track of time.
See.
The second person that we suspect is in this group of missing, strangely named Mr. Doyle, Leon Doyle, is missing. We haven't found him. We have no idea where he is, if he's fine, if he's stumbling around somewhere.
I see.
So you said this has been going on for a year and a half.
A year. It's been going on for about a year. Yeah.
Okay. So
Okay.
we have 12 victims then?
Yes. And in 2 days, we have another new moon.
I see. So we are trying to
And
prevent someone to vanish. Is that it?
he takes a folded up newspaper from under his arm and then slides it over to you. And there's a picture from the front page of today's newspaper of a UFO, front page and center. We think the cycle's happening again.
I mean, it makes sense.
So, are there any irregularities as to where they disappear from?
And
None that we've been able to find out. And obviously, as I'm sure you're aware, Agent Doyle, nothing in the government ever happens quickly.
No.
Any commonalities between the people themselves?
Not that we've been able to find out. This all just kind of, let's just say it wasn't on a lot of people's radars until now.
Even though it's been a year.
Again.
Slow government.
Yeah.
I do also have a question. What do we know about the places they are found? Is it random, or is there any pattern?
Not that we've been able to ascertain. usually, as they're found, stumbling around, and somebody calls 911. A person walking around not acting right. They call 911. EMS brings them in, and then you know they get brought in. Looked into like a missing persons database. They get identified. But again, nothing happens quick, so it hasn't really been on anyone's radar until now.
Does anyone see the incidents themselves happening, like the abduction and return? Any cameras, anything at those sites? Any people who've come forward?
Again, these are all questions we would love answers to, which is kind of what we're bringing all of you in for.
It seems strange that in New York, with all the surveillance in place, that nothing would have shown at this point.
I mean, they may have and just not found it yet. It doesn't sound like they've looked into it much.
Also looks a little deliberate. There's so many cameras around. If people were to notice, we wouldn't only have first page on journals. We would have national panic and things like that because it would be all over the internet. The surveillance.
So Agent Phillips laughs kind of nervously. He goes, or if it's aliens, they could have just messed with the cameras.
That's not entirely wrong.
Can you guys all give me
first rolls?
Humint.
Humint.
Wow. We all have no clue.
He seems nervous. He could just be making a joke. Given what's going on, and so we brought you in, Dr. Carter. You are a well-known enthusiast when it comes to extraterrestrials.
One of the leading researchers. Not just enthusiasm. It's my job.
Mr. Gutierrez or Saturn, which do you prefer?
Whatever is easiest for you.
If there is something going on with the technology, we figure what better way than for you to repay your debt to society?
Okay.
And Agent Doyle, you've seen some things.
Fair to say.
My understanding from your record is you've done some things.
Yes, also fair.
You may be useful in other capacities.
Understood.
What I'm asking from the three of you is to try and figure out why these folks keep going missing and try to stop it from happening again. Any information that you find, and he will hand each of you from the leather satchel a phone. It's so we're in 2024, so modern days, and Saturn, immediately that this is like state of the art smartphone, and just as soon as you turn it on and start messing with it, you can tell these are encrypted. These will be how you stay in touch. I would like regular updates. If you need anything during your research or investigation that I can make of use to you, please let me know. You've got the resources of the government at your disposal, but please keep it within reasonable means. Now that it is on government radar, we need receipts. As far as your authority is concerned, should you need to use it, you have access granted to you as special agents for this operation. Meaning you have official authority for the investigation, and folks should comply. I say should. However, given that Mr. Gutierrez and Dr. Carter are civilians, that only goes so far. We want to try and keep this off the radars as much as possible. The government doesn't like spending money on anything involving alien life or suspected alien life. However, the scope of this and other factors have us concerned that this may be a let's just say it's best to try and stop anything before it happens if it's going to.
Is there something different about this time?
Yes, this time. He says questioningly.
There may or may not have been a similar set of circumstances in 2001.
Do we have access to those records?
Why not?
Because they no longer exist.
Why?
You know who we are, Dr. Carter, right?
You don't retain them for your own use?
Let me just guess, whatever happened in the Pentagon in 2001.
I mean, yes.
Sure. The Pentagon is why we don't have that information anymore.
Yes, I assume it is.
We're not in the habit of maintaining certain records, Dr. Carter.
Well, wouldn't that have been helpful?
Yeah, it probably would have been. Hindsight's a bitch.
Clearly.
My apologies for the language.
Well, I don't think there's nothing much more than we can do, right? In here, at least. We grab these files, come them over as fast as we can to get as much info as we can, and then we hit the road to whatever we need to investigate. Is that it?
Basically, my suggestion is try and see if there's anything. Investigate the folks, and he lets you take the files, so you have all of the names, and he will give you the files. Just make sure that when this is over, that those files come back.
And I'm sure that no copies are made or anything.
Oh, don't worry. We're the government. We'll know if you do. That's a joke. Come on, laugh.
I find it funny.
Speaking of laughing, I did have my notebook when I got here.
Oh yes, your notebook. One moment. And he'll go open the door. And he's talking with the two brutish men who escorted you in. Talks to them for a short while. Comes back and hands you your laptop and all of the stuff that you were black bagged with.
Mm-hmm.
I imagine you'll want your tools back. It'll be more fruitful for all of us, I suppose, if you do. If you find yourself needing anything else to complete your job, let us know. We've got plenty of resources.
Yeah.
Anything else I can answer for you folks?
I mean, I feel like you told us everything you would have.
Yeah.
Well, then I will walk you guys down, and he'll hand you, Agent Doyle, a like a small, like a satchel, and it's got keys. There's a vehicle assigned for the three of you from the motor pool. I imagine you're going to be doing quite a bit of driving.
Yeah.
And
Do we-
yeah.
Do we have the government P card for gas?
Oh, yeah. Just make sure to keep receipts. And then, yeah, and then he will escort you guys down to the parking where the vehicle's waiting. And I think this is where we'll go to break. So we'll see you shortly. And we're back. All right. So you guys have gotten the briefing from Agent Phillips. Where do you guys want to start?
Is there like a briefing room that we can kind of like talk about what we want to do?
Yeah. Like, so I mean, so you guys are in the SUV that they've assigned for you guys.
Okay.
And again, like it's if you're gonna be here, none of you are from here, so if you're gonna be here, like you've got essentially like a government card. So it's like if you guys need to do like hotel rooms or whatever, because you're gonna be here for a little bit, that's fine. Yeah.
Okay, so they had not already arranged rooms for us. That's on us.
No.
Okay. All right.
So I mean, we could start there. I figure we're gonna need to plan what we want to do.
You know, we didn't ask if there was a time limit on this operation.
Well,
I imagine it's 2 days.
Well, so you know that the whatchamacallit, the
New moon.
the new moon is generally about, and the ones who have been found the day after the new moon. And that is when they at least know the day after the new moon. The ones who have been found that were alive, that ended up dying, missing organs, or even the ones that had the memories missing, everyone was found the day after the new moon. So you're thinking new moon is probably your best working timeline, given what they know about the cycle. Obviously, if you can solve whatever it is any sooner, go for sooner, but
just when we go to book our rooms, or be here for a week, a month.
I mean, you can always cancel it the last days. Like, they generally don't care.
Yeah, if you don't use the room for the entire time, it's...
Why don't we book for a week? And then if we don't stay the whole week, it's fine.
Yeah, just tell them you're leaving early and then, yeah.
that sound good?
Sounds great.
And I know I had mentioned this to Urian, I think when you had stepped away, Red. So it is the 28th, and so the new moon, the next new moon is the 30th.
Okay.
Yeah.
And
We'll
so
book our
the
rooms.
document that I had made available in Foundry, those dates are all the dates of the new moon. So they would have gone missing the day before that, which means before that. So let's say like that first one is Jaden Russell on January 11th. So she would have gone missing on the 10th, which means the sighting would have been on the 9th,
Got it.
given what they know of the cycle.
And the sighting was headlined today.
Sighting was today.
Okay.
So you know that you are looking at, if the cycle is accurate, there's probably going to be some abduction tomorrow.
So we booked a room, we get our stuff there, and we try to organize to try and see what we can actually do. I assume, Dr. Carter, that since you're a specialist in this, you might be able to get us a head start on that.
I'm hoping so. I mean, I'm pretty limited. My labs have shown that there's activity. But as far as who specifically targeted, it doesn't get that specific. Otherwise, we would have been able to stop this before. We're big picture, not little picture, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
I think, go ahead.
Oh, I was thinking, since there's no pattern, apparently at least at this moment, for anything, it's more about creating a net to prevent and observe and guarantee that no one else gets abducted. But that most likely is going to be preventing during an abduction.
Well, we don't know that there's not a pattern. There might just not be a pattern that they've
At
seen,
this moment, yes.
that they've noticed. And she'll like look through it. And she's like, okay, well, an obvious one is that it's alternating female and male.
Mm-hmm.
So we can probably expect it's a female to be taken next time. You said Gutierrez and Doyle. Those are both on the list. Are those
What?
names you know?
I take a look at the list. Do I know the named person with surname Gutierrez?
I mean, there's a lot of people with the last name Gutierrez. It could be a relative, maybe like a cousin or something, but it's nobody that you know off the top of your head.
Okay. I take a closer look at the names, try and get if I know anyone with those names, because it kind of looks. I do know, and this is very weird. I do know someone with the surname Johnson as well. And he points at the last person. This is. Well, can we say really coincidence? We're talking about aliens.
Can Saturn, can you give me an intelligence roll?
Of course. And I do have good memory.
Yep, so just click the dice. Yep. You would think that maybe if you call your aunt, maybe she knows if there's like any family here in the city.
Mm. And Saturn goes, I can even do some phone calls. I know people in my family that might be able to attest if I do have a family member with this name. But we can also observe here there is also Doyle and a Carter. Do any of you two know if someone of your family or something?
Do either of us recognize those names?
I don't know. Do you?
I mean, I don't.
Hmm.
But
No.
in the recesses of Carolyn's memory, she might.
I mean, it's entirely possible that you have family, like cousins or, extended relatives or something, but
I mean, maybe we should go see the bodies. Or see, I guess not everyone's dead. Not bodies, people.
yeah, all of the people by now who would have died, all would have been like turned over to their families by this point. So as far as bodies,
Were they?
you could either like have them exhumed or
Well, didn't they take extensive photography of the bodies
Yeah.
during their
yes,
examination?
you would have
Yes.
you would have like access to like any of the like the audio files like the coroner will do when they do the autopsy, any photos they've taken, like you have access to all of that.
I can take a thorough look at the autopsy results and see if I can pick up anything that they haven't. I mean, I don't know. We're time crunched, and I know that they've already had lots of people look at it, I'm sure, but they could have missed something.
Like the fact that whoever is related to us is missing.
I mean, we don't know if they're related.
But
It's
they
not
have
like any of.
the Doyle, the Carter, and the Gutierrez are missing in this list.
I know. It seems like an odd coincidence. But the only way we can tell is if we look at the autopsy results.
True.
Yeah. So going through focusing first, I guess, on the autopsy for the ones who have died. So that would be Julia Turner, William Lance, Heather Kim, and then Nicholas Johnson.
Of course, our ones with our last names are missing, not found. Yeah. Love that.
So all of the ones who have the that have died, all of the coroner reports pretty much all say exactly what Agent Phillips told you and pointed out in the records. All of the accompanying documentation supports what he told you, that no obvious trauma to any of the bodies. When they were found, they weren't acting like people who would have those organs missing. And like they seemed perfectly healthy. The only reason they basically, once they went missing, they did like a full workup essentially on them when they got to the hospital. And then it was through scans and whatnot that they realized that there's organs missing, and then a short time after they died. So it was almost like they were the picture of perfect health and then like rapidly deteriorated while they were in the hospital.
Carolyn's gonna text her husband to see if he has any relatives in New York by the name of Isabella Carter.
Okay.
Saturn is gonna
not Isabella.
Saturn is gonna text his aunt.
Okay. Are you guys using your phones or are you using the encrypted phones?
So I'm just talking to my husband, probably my normal phone.
Okay.
Yeah,
and it's
normal.
not. Yeah.
If I notice you using your phone, I would advise you that you might lose that if you're not careful.
What do you mean?
Your phone with a camera, your own personal phone, it wouldn't be allowed into any of the secure facilities.
What would you advise us to do then?
Would they just confiscate it? I mean, like, it's not like
They would,
we're not using it in those facilities.
it would be confiscated for the duration you're in those facilities.
Yeah, but I'm not planning on using it there. I'm just planning on using it to text my husband.
Well, they're funny about this sort of thing.
But yet they don't keep records. Proceed to text her husband on the phone anyway.
So you get a message back. It's like, yeah, I got a cousin, Izzy. I haven't seen her in ages.
Izzy.
Why do you ask?
ran into someone. Didn't know if we were related in any way.
And then Saturn, you get a message back. Boy, where you been?
He answers, problems with the government. You know how it is, kids nowadays.
Why are you asking about cousin Jojo?
Found some things in the weird newspaper related to something.
Are you in trouble, boy? What'd I tell you?
I'm always in trouble, Aunt. Do you know them?
You need to go to church. I just told you. Jojo.
Yeah, but do you know of them, about them, anything, any news?
You know how many of us there are? I can't keep track of everybody. I haven't seen him since he was little.
So
Boy, you need Jesus.
Saturn completely ignores whatever barrage of messages his aunt sends after that and goes, okay, yeah, it's my cousin.
My husband's cousin. What about you?
And I vaguely remember Leon, an old Uncle Leon, but I don't. I'll have to ask some other family about him because I really don't remember him other than just a trace of a memory.
So we were chosen very deliberately. Aside from our own experiences. Okay.
Less coincidence than we were led to believe.
Mm-hmm.
Doesn't really tell us what they had in common, though.
If only we could figure out where they were taken from.
We could ask our family.
With Saturn, with your intelligence, you could maybe do a like a quick search, like a Google search, or like a social media search or something. Maybe there's some sort of trail electronically that you can follow, given your skill set.
Yeah.
Maybe you can find something if you look in that direction.
Yeah. So Saturn sits around. Yes, Doctor?
Oh, I was just gonna say, do like the files, like the autopsy reports have like dossiers and what they know about the people too?
Yeah.
Can I do like my intelligence to see if there's like a pattern there at all?
What's the number next to your intelligence, the percentage?
85.
Oh, yeah, it's so I mean with that, you take a little bit of time, look through the files. They all seemed to be you see one word sort of kind of pop up over and over and over again in a lot of these reports. Conspiracy.
Love that.
A lot of these folks have been described by people who reported them missing as sort of like nut jobs, conspiracy theorists, alien believers, things I'm sure Dr. Carter's been called a million times.
Saturn's going to utilize a very recent development of the internet. He's going to on social media and he's going to try and find the accounts of all these people.
Okay.
Try and get whatever they were liking and things like that, and try and see if there's any pattern there.
Okay. So while you're doing that, what is Agent Doyle doing?
He's going to try getting in touch with his family about Leon. See if anyone had any idea where he was before he went missing.
Oh yeah, he moved to New York, didn't he?
I don't remember.
Yeah, last I heard he was in New York. I don't know when that would have been. Um, yeah, last I heard he was in New York, but I mean, don't hold me to that.
Okay.
Um,
Look,
so real quick, I'll come back or well, keep going, keep going.
I was going to say, well, if there were still phone books, I could look him up in the phone book and find out where he was, where he lived, anyway.
Um, yeah, I mean, you can if you want to do
Do a
that.
people search.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah, it was you find um uh a Leon Doyle, lives in New York City. Um you give him a ring and it just rings, doesn't pick up.
Okay. Um, you know, I would think the FBI would know where he was. If only we had some access to those resources.
Well, I mean, so in the files that they gave you, because he is a file.
Right. Last known address, any associates.
So there would be like a last known address in the Bronx. Um,
Seems like more like a Queens man to me, but
no, no. But yeah, with your computer science, Saturn, it's easy for you to, do a quick search, um, and you see on a few of them. Um, so a few of the people are probably, you would assume, older. They have a very small like social media presence. They may not be. They may not use like Facebook or Twitter, X, or whatever. Um, or if they do, it's like posting like family photos, whatever. Um, but you do see on a few of them um, links to a website.
Hmm.
Um, and it's Seventh Sun, so SEVENTHSUN.com. And when you go to it, the first thing you see is, the best way I can describe it is like the Heaven's Gate website, where it's basically like pictures over the last year or so of different UFO sightings, um, and then talks about, you know, they're coming from, the skies and aliens are here. And then you see mentions of Zeta Reticulum 3, and the aliens are trying to make contact. And um, it definitely seems like a few of them are into, or have at least visited or reposted a link to this like alien cult website.
Hey, Saturn is going to turn his laptop to the other two. These sites were very popular in the 90s, but apparently this one is very active up until today. And a few of our missing people or dead people used to boast about this site. What do you think? Extra conspiracy theory?
I mean, conspiracy makes sense with everything I'm seeing in the files. They were all conspiracy theorists of some type.
Huh.
I wonder if they all were on the site then and you just didn't have links for all of them.
Maybe. A few seem to be a little on the older side. Perhaps they weren't as active on the internet, but still.
Is there any
Maybe.
address for the?
Maybe they were disappeared and then assigned to the category conspiracy theorist.
No, they all did things that
A lot of them actually did post things like that.
they posted things like that they were known for it amongst friends groups. It's in the dossier for all of them, and she'll hand in the dossiers to see all of it.
Okay.
Is there an address for this? It's a cult. For this cult.
Conveniently, so you do find that the domain is registered to the Seventh Son Information and Welcoming Center. And there's the address, which is 717 Bushwick Avenue in Brooklyn.
Brooklyn. I think we have a first step.
Seems like a logical one to me. Do you think so, Agent Doyle?
Let's go with it. Seems reasonable.
Okay.
Yes. So as a way to kind of ease his own mind, Saturn is going to guarantee that all their snooping around there is as inconspicuous as possible in regards to digital presence and digital footprint. So they aren't noticed, or at least their going isn't noticed.
Can you roll your computer science?
Okay. Now do me good, please. Put a lot of points into you. Hey.
Yeah, I mean it's you do it it's you're practically in your sleep doing this. I mean it's you're used to covering your presence, in these firewalls, and you are confident that you were able to to cover your tracks.
Okay. Good.
Dr. Carter, you get a message on your personal phone from an unknown number. It says, "They're lying to you." I can tell you more.
She's gonna call it.
It does that. Doo. This number is no longer in service.
She'll text it back and say, "Who is this?"
Fails to
It's
send. It fails to send.
Well, that's odd.
What? What's on?
Someone's lying to me.
Hmm.
I just got a text from a random number to my personal phone.
And right about that time, Saturn and Doyle, you both on your personal phones get messages saying similar things. They're lying to you. I can tell you more.
Okay. Compare the numbers between all three. Are they coming from the same place or random?
Different numbers.
With my knowledge about computers, does this seems like some type of encryption generated number to hide the identity of the same person?
Yeah, it definitely seems like somebody has gone through a lot of effort to secure personal information and hide their identity from you.
Mm-hmm. So Saturn is gonna say, well, I am not a betting man, but I can almost certainly say that someone is also observing this case, and apparently our presence was noticed. And they're trying to intervene by different means.
Where are we
This.
right at this moment? We still in the SUV?
No, I thought you guys were at your
In the-
hotel.
Yeah, we went to the hotel to discuss, and then later, I assume we go back to the SUV so we can.
Yeah, I figured we were like driving on the way to the
Mhm.
And I was gonna
address.
say, and I imagine Saturn,
To the
as
Seventh
part of
Son.
like his kit, has like some way to tap into like satellite Wi-Fi. And
Mhm.
whatnot. So he's
Yeah.
always got something he can access the internet from.
Probably do it from
And
his
not to mention,
watch.
you guys also have like your phones that you can do for.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Well,
I mean, is there anything we can do about that even?
for now, we continue the plan, but we have to keep a little eyes open, specifically because we were picked out by a coincidence, weren't we?
I think we know that that's not true now.
Mhm.
We're related to them.
Well, and perhaps it was not by our skill sets that we were chosen. Even though it might seem like it is a good lie to put us at ease. But these are aliens we're talking about. Let's keep going.
Well, maybe. Haven't you ever seen like the X-Files or something like that? Like in the X-Files, it ended up being the government who really kidnapped them all and did experiments.
Well, I got arrested by the government for uncovering truth they didn't want to be uncovered once. Not one more time, I guess.
It's not like it's our lives or anything.
I think it's tread carefully type of deal then.
What do we know about today's sighting?
Good one. And I take today's file, give to Doyle to have a proper
So
look.
all you have for today is the newspaper. From what you can tell from the dossiers, like I said, they're the best they've been able to guess is there is this 4-day, quote unquote, 4-day cycle where there's a sighting, somebody goes missing, then
Sorry.
there's this day that's the new moon, and then the day after the new moon, if the person is found, that's the day they're found.
Okay. Is there any similarity between the sightings? I mean, are they seen in a particular direction, any particular part of the sky?
So they're seen over like you can see like depending on where you are, obviously, like you look up, you can see things, from all over the place. Like you can see the same thing from multiple places. But it seems that they are focused around two areas, or they seem to be focused around two areas more so. They seem to be focused over Brooklyn, and then they seem to be focused in like Eastern New York. Specifically, give me 1 second. I gotta remember what the name of this place is. Manorville, New York. But the sightings themselves come from like all over, like the the majority of reporting seems to be coming from New York City. But I mean, there are sightings all over. No real like, no one ever really sees it like show up. It just there's no reports of it ever actually like them seeing it come from somewhere, and there's no reports of ever seeing it going anywhere. all of the reports seem to be that there is like a stationary flying object. Depending on who writes the report, it might be called a UFO, it might be called a UAP, unidentified aerial phenomenon. But it's some object appears and at some point disappears, but no real coming or going is noted. But as like in between the website and then like the articles from the newspapers where they've been posting some of these pictures, because it's the public at large. I mean, it's a big city, people go missing all the time, so the public at large hasn't necessarily put together missing people and aliens, but the public is very like it's a headliner every time it happens. So there'll be like one or two photos on the paper, and then they'll be like, oh, sighting happens again, blah blah blah.
Agent Gutierrez, I mean, is there any way you can look on the people who posted online to see if they wrote anything about the UFO sightings that happened around the time that they were abducted?
Or even before that, perhaps. Gutierrez takes a look. Since most of those people are in the conspiracy theory type of thing, he's gonna try and look both in their social media and the posts related to these events in that forum, because this have been happening for a whole year and this forum seems to be active. So it must have some sort of interaction in regards to that. So he's going to try and find any information in regards to these posts and the events that have been happening.
So the posts are more so like they'll post like repost like news articles of the like the website news articles, or they'll repost pictures or whatever, lots of links to different like UFO, like religious cult stuff, is the best way you would describe it. A lot of mixes between like, oh, they're coming to save us. Occasionally it's a little bit of the end is near. And then some of the posts for the people who you would guess are older because they don't necessarily post as much. You notice that they mention when they post around the dates of these sightings tends to be mentioning of they mention someone called Nestor.
Nestor.
Nestor will guide us. Nestor will see us through. Nestor.
Okay. And Gutierrez is going to go, right. I think that's a little bingo. I found a name. Nestor. Apparently, few of the less addicted or terminally online people, specifically the older ones that do match some of the profiles of our missing people. He seems to be related somewhat. They are mentioning how he's gonna save them or things like that. So he's gonna try and find whoever this Nestor is.
So with your again with your skill in computer science, um, doing like a quick kind of search with like Seventh Son and Nestor, you realize that Nestor isn't a name; it is a title.
Oh, a title.
And it is a title of a gentleman who seems to be the leader of this group. Nestor Amon Eniver. So his name is Ammon is his first name, and his last name is Enever.
So Saturn relays that information to the other two. We seem to have a quote or something. There's Nestor's a title. And this Aaron Amon Enevar. This guy apparently is the great savior of these people, at least of the oldest ones.
I mean, sounds like we're going to the right place then.
Yeah. What's the plan when we get there?
Oh, we've got the SUV.
Walk in and ask for information.
And
I don't
go and
think-
try.
I don't think we walk in like agents. I think we walk in as people who are curious.
Well, I ain't exactly the social type. I, don't really do lying, talking so much. I'm an introvert. So,
I don't want to do it. I have a family. I am female, and I have also been called a conspiracy theorist. I do not want to be on the next in line for this, so I would rather it not be me.
I do believe we all look at you, Dial.
Yeah, I was going to say, looks like I'm the one left standing. Okay.
Your sacrifice. Your volunteering is. Thank you.
I've been voluntold.
Yes, thank you.
Yes.
Okay, so be it.
So while Luther is being sent to his almost assured doom,
Okay.
what are the other two of you doing?
Can we put like a recording device on him and like a camera and like live stream it back to us potentially?
Mm-hmm.
Give me a. Don't know that this would necessarily be computer science. Let me see. Because I'm assuming you're suggesting that Saturn's the one that does this.
Yeah, Saturn's generally the best one. However, if this for some reason relates to microelectronics, maybe it might be me over Saturn, but
What's your microelectronics?
I have 40.
So does he. Okay. Give me a SIGINT for Saturn.
Okay. Oh.
Yeah, you can't seem to find any way to put this on you where it's not obvious that you're carrying a camera.
But I'm huge. There must be some place to put it.
I don't know.
Okay, how about this? Hand me your phone.
Who's?
You.
Okay.
Starts recording. Here, don't turn it off.
Okay. But wouldn't you rather have a live stream of some sort?
Don't know if that's gonna happen. So.
Okay, well, we'll go with what we got.
Yeah.
Unless you can think of something else, Saturn, you're the tech person.
I mean, I try and download any type of system device or program in one of those cryptographed um, government phones to record the call,
Okay.
any calls.
I think with your computer science that you know, especially with the 80, you know of a program where you can easily
Make a
like
fake account on Facebook and live stream it.
yeah, or you can figure something out where you
Yeah,
can find a way to take the camera phone or the phone in Doyle's pocket and relay that information back to the two of you. That's
yeah.
perfectly fine.
I do just that. I say, okay, just be careful to not put your hand in your pocket to guarantee that it's not really visible. Don't draw attention to it.
Understood.
We'll be watching here from afar, recording everything.
And I guess we'll come if you need us, maybe? You're the strong one, so I don't know what I don't know what we could really do, but it's like
Well,
you're
at least-
James Bond and we're Q.
Well, at least you'll watch me go down.
I don't know what me to say to that.
Hopefully, you'll get the data stream will include GPS coordinates of where I am at the moment.
Yes.
All right. Yep. So you know where I am in case the stream goes dark.
Thank you. I guess say we should probably have a safe word or something. Maybe.
Pineapple.
Pineapple? Okay.
Yeah.
Doesn't come up in regular conversation very often.
Which means when you say it out loud and
That's right.
okay. Okay. So
Someone smell pineapples?
you guys send Luther to his death. So while he is actually doing this, where are you two?
Think the vehicle.
Maybe like in the vehicle around the block.
Okay. So you guys drive from the hotel. You get to the building, and you notice immediately, like the building stands out. Like you know you're there long before you're ever there.
There's a model of a UFO on top of it.
Not quite. It is decked out in a lot of Egyptian like iconography.
Okay.
Like it looks like if you didn't know that this place was like a UFO cult, you would swear this was like some sort of Egyptian cult. It looks like somebody took a warehouse and made it into a like an Egyptian museum, kind of. But it's got like hieroglyphics like around the facade of the building, and you go up to the door, and on the door it says Seventh Son Information and Welcoming Center.
Must be the right place. All right. So I try to open the door to walk in. Is it open?
Yeah. Door opens, and you hear people talking, and it seems more. It seems busier than you would expect it to be.
Okay.
Your best guess being that all of the recent attention is kind of a lot of people you would imagine have found this building because of like the website or the all the sightings and stuff.
All right. Now, the people that I see inside, do they appear to be just members of the public that have come in to talk about things, or are they all, do they look like they might all be members of this
So
society?
it looks like a mix. It looks like if you ever see like some churches or anything when there are like rec centers where like sometimes they'll have like information like books or like pamphlets or whatever. So there's like a little what do you call it? Like a little counter with like different pamphlets talking about like aliens, and then there's like a couple talking about like Egyptian connection to UFOs. Um, all sorts of different things, and then like things that aren't even necessarily related to this, but things are like-minded people. So there may even be just like a couple random conspiracy theory pamphlets just kind of like
Okay.
littered about.
Well,
But it looks like there is a mix of people who are comfortable, who look like they know their way around here, and then there's people who are obviously like tourists. People are just trying to get a feel for the place, learn something, just stopped by because the place looked weird.
okay. Well, I'm going to avoid going to the pamphlet booth
Okay.
where anyone can ask me direct questions. I am going to scan the room though, looking for like a group of people, like where there's a charismatic speaker who might, it might actually be Nestor, and just kind of sidle up and start listening in and just participating kind of in the group, just listening to what he's having to say.
Okay. So you look around, there isn't immediately anybody that kind of like grabs your attention. No one really stands out. But let's see if there's anything. Gonna have you use that. Can you roll your occult for me?
Sure. Let's see. This close count?
It was actually really close. So you definitely see somebody who seems like he's gotten someone's attention, and they seem to be like he's holding their attention very strongly, but you don't know that this is who you're looking for, but it's your best guess.
Right, well, let's start listening in, see what the conversation is.
So it's the person this gentleman's talking to is looking, just kind of like mentioning all of the UFO sightings, and he immediately clocks you. Not hit clock, but like he notices you.
Right. Yeah.
I'm guessing all the recent happenings have brought you in, got you curious?
Yeah. I really just wonder what's going on.
Oh, you've seen. I'm assuming you've seen the newspapers, the news.
Right. Right. I saw that this morning. Yeah.
They're coming. They're coming to help us.
Who's they? Tell me more about this. I'm really interested.
Aliens. They're coming. They want to.
Which aliens? The Greys or the Greens?
The gray ones. They look exactly like you think they would. The big heads, big eyes.
Well, yeah.
Yeah, no, they're here to teach us, and then to make us better, and they're here to help us.
Do you know when or where they're going to be? I mean, I'd like to meet them.
Oh well, you got to be here for a while before you know, humans are, all about wanting to wage war on everything, and so they got to be very, very careful about who they expose themselves to.
No, I totally understand about that. But I mean, where can you get started?
Oh, well, we do like obviously with everything that's happening, we've got the, people coming in, so Nestor, he said we should open up and get more people in, and um, we do meetings every month. Our next big meetings in a couple of nights.
Couple of nights, okay. What does it take to get into one of those meetings?
You just got to show up.
Well, count me in. I'd really like to meet you and talk more about this. Where, when,
Yeah.
when and where?
So he looks around and finds like a stack of pamphlets on the um on the counter and slides one over. Um,
I'll pick it up and look and start scanning it.
and it says the seventh sun is rising, and there's an address which is 258 Eastport Manor Road in Manorville, New York.
Okay. Okay. And does it say what time? I mean, I don't want to be late.
It's probably best to get there just before sunset.
Okay.
You want to get a good spot.
Well, yeah, of course.
Oh,
This looks.
what was your name?
I'm Luther.
Luther. Oh, nice to meet you. I'm Avery. Avery. Yeah,
Avery.
I'm one of the greeters.
Well, nice to meet you. This
you
all
too.
looks really cool.
Yeah, you should come. And if you've been, I mean, it's they're always, just we need more people who are interested and open minded.
Yeah. Is it okay if I bring a friend or something? I mean, or is this just for invite only?
I mean, as long as they're open and like minded, yeah, bring them. More the
Okay.
merrier.
Oh, awesome. Okay. All right. Also, see if I can bring a friend or two.
Can you roll for me
That's bad. Don't ask that.
power?
We've
Power?
had 2 successful rolls all night.
Let's see. Which just the 75% one?
Yeah.
Ooh.
You feel suddenly very, very queasy.
Okay.
Like something is pushing into your head.
Into my head. Okay.
Yeah.
Um,
Like you're getting this weird sense of like vertigo almost.
Okay.
Like the room is kind of like starting to spin. You feel a little uneasy on your feet. And then the feeling goes away.
Hmm. That was something weird.
Oh, you okay?
Yeah, I think so. I mean,
Do you need to sit down? Do you sit down?
no, it's. I think it's past. It's just momentary. But I'm okay.
No.
I'm okay.
Have a seat. I'll be right back. And he walks off. And comes back with a glass of water, hands it to you. Here, take a drink. Like maybe you're just dehydrated.
No, I had a bottle of water just before I got here. I mean, it doesn't feel like that. I was just dizzy a little bit for a second. But
Are you sure?
Thank you for bringing. Yeah, I'm sure. But thank you for bringing that.
He takes the water. You're sure? You like we
No, I'm
got
sure.
plenty. There's plenty more with this. He's like, okay.
No,
He drinks it. I was like, okay. Well, I mean, just take all the time you need. Don't rush, and then. But yeah, like if you got friends, yeah, bring them. The more the merrier. I just
all right.
But it just make sure like-minded, open-minded people. That's all we ask for.
All right. Well, thank you for your time. I really appreciate talking with you about this, and I'll see you.
Yeah, no problem. Have a good day.
All right, you too. Thanks. And I'll make my way out after I'll sit for a minute and watch around the room, see other people, and then I'll make my way out back.
So nothing really like stands out after that point. Yeah, just a bunch of people, uh, mingling. Like it just seems like it's a bunch of enthusiasts that are just into some really wacky shit. Um, and then, like I said, these sightings. Yeah, so
Okay.
nothing.
All right. So when I get out of the building and away from it a bit, I'll text um, Agents Carter and Gutierrez and ask them, did you get all that?
To respond like asking how your head is or whatever. Like, are you okay?
So nothing recorded.
Well, no, they were talking about how they were feeling. Like, are you all right? Nothing recorded at all.
Nothing recorded.
Oh, so we didn't see anything. Oh,
Nothing,
pretty much the second he walked through the door, it's static. And nothing came back
Nope.
up until like as soon as he walked out.
No audio, no video, nothing.
Nothing.
Gutierrez answers absolutely nothing. We were almost going there ourselves.
Okay. How much? Well, did you get anything from the time I started when I was with you guys recording? Was it recording from the beginning, or did it just stop suddenly somewhere, or did you get nothing at all?
As soon as you went,
it recorded the entire time, but so everything is noticeable from the moment they started recording to the second you cross the door. As soon as you cross the door, it's static. You can't hear anything, you can't see anything. The second you step out of the door, it's recording. But it never stops recording. It's just video static, video.
Place seems well guarded or something. Nothing from there, only the outside.
All right. Something affected me when I was inside talking to one of the greeters.
you okay? You should come back to the car so we can
I'm
talk.
coming back. I am now, but it was really weird. So I'm coming back.
Hey.
And yeah, I was in there talking to this guy, and suddenly I felt dizzy and like something was pushing into my head. And then it went away. I mean, he offered me water, but I didn't take it. But then he drank it himself. So unless they're immune to whatever it is, it was a legit offer of water. But yeah, that was really strange.
What else was talked about?
Well, I did bring the pamphlet back with me, right? Mm-hmm. Okay. They're having a meeting here shortly, and he invited me to come to it. And he said I could bring friends, just as long as they're open-minded and willing to accept new ideas. Weak-minded, more like.
Yeah, that's code talking.
I think hold on, are you okay with aliens, Agent Gutierrez? Like, do you believe in aliens?
See, the answer for that really changed quite recently.
Okay. See, we both have higher intelligence than you, Agent Doyle. It's not weak-minded. You can disagree. Please don't call it weak-minded.
No, he I don't think he was asking specifically for intelligent people, just those who could be influenced, which many highly intelligent people can be.
See, I get it. I honestly get it. We firstly should move and not be around this place because who knows whatever surveillance they have around here.
Right. But we do have an address, a date and a time when they're going to have where they're inviting people to come.
Are we really
I
okay going
see.
to this? This feels like such a bad idea.
Well, we can tell our handler, and they can arrange for additional security around the perimeter.
See, this is
This is
also
why you're a
all.
government person.
This is all information that we're gonna have to give to him and say, okay, we found a lot of weird shit, a lot of correlations that none of you ever thought about. We found a place, we found some people, we found weird things happening there.
And while I was in there, there were a lot of other people from the just general public, looks like, who were interested in asking all kind of questions too, and they were very open, and they weren't holding anything back, talking about aliens and they're coming, and and I tried to appear like I was really interested. And go ahead.
Do we tell our handler everything?
Until we have some reason to think not, I would say we should.
He didn't tell us about any of the trends that we saw so easily, nor that they had the same last names as us. Plus, there's the text that's saying they're not telling us everything.
Yeah, that would tend to be
sent by someone that did not send anything else, nor proof, nor anything else related to this.
You two are the brains of this operation. I'm just.
The only thing I think that we might want to hold back is the fact that we recognize that we might be connected to those 3 people.
Yeah, see, that information, I don't think it's that particularly hard for them to guess that we got it already. Because we can read a list. And you are a doctor. And I broke into one of the government servers.
Fair.
We have to make a choice here. We either regularly tell or handler whatever we have to deal with, or we don't. And we suddenly don't have the support of the government for this.
That was the only thing I was thinking of holding back, just because that seemed like something they deliberately tried to hide from us.
They're going to try to hide everything from us, I don't think.
I mean, they told us some things. And so my concern was showing that we knew something that we shouldn't have.
So maybe we tell...
That's how people disappear.
Yeah. So instead of telling whatever we know, we tell whatever we found. About this place, about this quote, about the informations, about how some of those people, mainly the ones that are dead, not specifically the ones that are missing, are related, have dealt with information about this forum, and about what Agent Doyle experienced there.
Okay. I mean, you're the one that has experience with this. I'm guessing the black hood carried in indicates.
The experience was more put into a solitary cell for who knows how long.
But how'd you get there?
Oh, I was having fun in the internet trying to get, some information about some weird
information you shouldn't have.
See, it's generally about private things, nothing government-like. Why was the government posing as a private organization?
Why were they hiding the information about us being related?
Why did they have such encryption that I had to break it? And as soon as I break it, boom, got swatted.
I mean, I'll trust y'all. Like, if you're right. It is very obvious.
But at the same time, we can't ignore aliens. 12 people went missing.
And we have to assume one's going to go missing here too. Now, this event is supposed to happen in a couple of days.
A couple of days, right. At least according to the timeline we have.
And someone goes missing tomorrow. It's not tomorrow, right?
And do I have this wrong, handler?
So the cycle it's that there's a sighting, and then the day after the sighting is the abduction. The day after the
Mhm.
abduction is the new moon. The day after the new moon is when they're found, if they're found.
Okay.
When's the meeting?
Right.
The new moon. So 2 days from now.
Okay.
Okay. So someone's already gone missing then.
They would go missing tomorrow if it follows the pattern.
Yeah. So we can't just wait for that. We have to do something else if we want to try and save.
Yeah. But
Should maybe we should see if they have any more information on this cult.
hmm,
Could you like hack into their systems?
could try.
Is this a covert inquiry? I mean, I should have access to, and it would be within the bounds of our investigation to try to find it. Or do
Yeah,
we?
I think we can do both. I mean,
Right.
it's only a risk that he finds something else.
Yeah. We can try and do some distracting by going directly, and when they are distracted, I try and hack it from the back door. But at the same time, wouldn't that risk you, Agent Doyle?
No, I have no idea that you're doing it. I'm doing a straightforward query through my normal operating channel. So,
Okay.
You mean asking the government, right?
yes.
Okay.
And I don't expect to be given the straight answer. Hopefully Saturn will find it when he searches.
Can try that. And whatever information we get, I assume, Dr. Carter, Martin, your years of experience are going to be way better than myself to parse through it.
I mean, it depends on what we find. Like if we just find, well, I don't even know, honestly.
Only one way to go about it, I think, right? So I'll try to get some remote hacking done as soon as we get the distraction ready.
So what are we doing for a distraction?
Agent Doyle? Any ideas?
Distraction. Well, like I said, I thought the distraction would be me looking straightforwardly for the answer from
Okay.
the government.
Okay. I guess I'm confused. I meant hacking into the cult systems, not the government systems. Sorry, I wasn't clear on that. That's my mistake.
Well, they already know who I am by virtue of having gone in and talked to them and being known to them now. And apparently they have some very formidable security system that prevents any sort of communication or surveillance of what's going on inside. So,
I mean, maybe I go in. If they're so interested in aliens, I mean, I am the closest thing to having proof about it and like actually knowing more. So maybe I could get further.
Yeah, but wouldn't that also risk you, since considering the pattern, the next target is going to be a woman?
Brad. This is the oddest question. With like either my occult knowledge or my like biology knowledge or something or some combination, does she know the way to protect herself, likely protect herself from getting abducted?
Give me an intelligence roll.
Cool. The temptation to roll outside a foundry, so it's not a bad roll.
Good luck.
Really?
Oh my god.
This is literally worse than Roll20.
What is happening?
I think it's my fault for what I said earlier.
It It is. I told you.
I mean, you're not a stupid person. I mean, it's you understand that it's all of the things that they teach you about, like, situational awareness. Um, Now, whether or not you buy into the propaganda, that's a separate thing. But as far as like not getting abducted, you know enough where it's, just, don't wear, headphones, know what's going on around you, like all those like things.
Even by aliens?
Oh,
The
no.
question was more about aliens.
Oh, I
Alien
thought you meant in
abduction.
general.
No,
I mean,
alien abductions.
No, you've got no idea.
Okay. Oh, shit. Well, that seems. I mean, that's the only thing I could think of that I could do to help you all. It is what I'm here for.
Well,
Maybe they could donate money to my fund. Like maybe they can donate money to the institute. Maybe they
That's an
can
angle.
benefit from this. Okay, that's what I'm doing. I'm getting
Well.
money. I'm getting a grant. It's okay.
if you are decided on that, I'll try my best to get as much info as I can. But try to in and out. Okay?
So you're getting information from regular channels in the government. I'm getting information from regular channels from the cult. And you're hacking into both?
I think hacking the code seems like
Okay.
the best attempt. Because
Okay.
trying to hack the government,
It didn't work out so well.
it didn't.
Okay. So we have a plan then.
We do.
So it is getting late. So are you guys going to do this at your hotel? Are you guys gonna do this like while you're in the SUV? Like where are you guys gonna go?
This seems like it might be like a next day thing. If it's already getting late and we go and sleep.
Okay.
Right. And I do my inquiries from like our rooms at the facility.
Okay.
I'll try my best to get as much information about whatever system they have that is preventing communications in the inside of that place, so I can actually do something.
I'm going to assume competence in the fact that when you guys got your rooms, you would get adjoining rooms.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So when you make it back to the hotel, and as you open the door, you see a young, like a 30s Asian woman sitting in a chair facing the door with a gun sitting on her lap. And this is where we're going to end for today.
Oh.
So that's it for episode 1 of Delta Green. Somebody is waiting for you guys in your hotel room. Thank you all
Neat.
for coming and watching. I am extremely excited that I made it through one episode. Everyone did great. Thank you so much to my players. If you want to join us in Discord, we've got it's where everybody gets together for the community. They do hangouts. That's where we do any sort of casting for games. We're all there. You can find different games that have been played in the past on YouTube. So there's the links for the studio website, where all of the current episodes or back episodes for everything on McStabbers, as well as all of the Call of Cthulhu and Ishfail, London Esoteric Society with Tiss. All of her stuff is on her YouTube as well. If you want to pick up any fun stuff from other games, there's the merch store. Just be aware. Some of the fun stuff like the Can't Wish a Motherfucker Would, you got to be logged in because it needs to prove you're an adult because apparently only adults get to cuss. Friends, which includes our friend here, Red, who does streaming on her own channel. What do you got coming up?
Nothing, cause life. But you know how you can find out when? The Discord.
The only thing that I have coming up is games on Saturday, which will come up later. If you want to give subs, you can do Amazon Prime, or if you want to do donations, those will go to the players. Or you can do KoFi for donations for the McStabbers, who were so gracious in letting me run this terrible game with my terrible brain with these awesome people. Thank you, Junie, for the bits. And then as far as the schedule for this next week, we've got Kansas City tomorrow. And then on Saturday, we've got the finale for 7th Sea. And then in the evening, we've got Raylan, Hidden City in the evening. And then nothing for the weekend until we come back on the 22nd, which will be Changeling, I believe, on Wednesday. And then back here next week for episode 2 of Delta Green, where we will see if the team has sent Dr. Carter to death, or if the lady waiting for them in their hotel room will kill them first. And then, most importantly, if nothing else, if you need any sort of mental health help in chat, there are a bunch of text and lifelines, and there's a website if you don't live in the US. It's okay to not be okay. Get help if you need help. I myself am very open about my mental health. Everyone needs help sometimes. Please get help if you need it. Even if you don't like the games we play, we love you. We want you to be good to yourself, good to others. I'm a nurse. Please get vaccinated while you can. Fuck assholes. There's a lot of them, and there's only going to be more of them. Be good to each other. And have a good night. I